Hi there, welcome to Seasons Change. I'm Luann. Well, if you have the habit of accumulating plastic containers like I do, then this is the video for you. I'm going to be decluttering this cabinet by taking a realistic look at the need for this much plastic. I'll also be sharing steps to help you minimize the plastic clutter in your home. So grab that cup of coffee or tea and a pen for taking notes, and let's get busy tackling this plastic nightmare. Okay, so the very first step that I like to take is just to empty everything out so that I can see what I'm dealing with. I think that you're about to be amazed at just how much plastic clutter I have in this one cabinet. Here's an item some of you may recognize. Can I still get a lid for this Tupperware pitcher? Here's an example of an item that could be hard to get rid of. It came with my immersion blender, but I've never used it. How do you use yours? And then here's another thing that I accumulate. I'm a sucker for any kind of cool looking container that I feel is too good to be thrown away. Do you keep yours? And if you do, what do you do with those? You'll see as I empty out the cabinet, I have a lot of random items in here as well. This is a cake turntable because I love to decorate cakes. And this is used to slide the cake on and off of the turntable. Those will not be going back into the plastic container cabinet. This funny looking thing is a mold that I use to make peanut butter Easter eggs. And those are scratches, not actually dirt. Although step 1 in the process was just to empty everything out, step 2 happens simultaneously, because this is also when the sorting begins. As I'm taking things out of the cabinet, you can see here I'm placing everything in different categories. Everyone's categories are going to look differently, and I'll go over mine later once I get everything out. Okay, so step 1 and 2 are complete. Everything is empty and sorted into categories. So now I'll share what my categories are. Here is lid bucket number 1. Here are some glass storage containers. These are just some miscellaneous plastic items. Lid bucket number 2 and lid bucket number 3. I even have the lids for the lid buckets in the lid bucket. Remember, everyone's categories are going to look very different depending on how you choose to run your kitchen. The next 2 stacks are going to be the divided containers. And of course, here's the Tupperware pitcher. And speaking of Tupperware, here's some more of the more than 40-year-old Tupperware in a stack of round single compartment containers. And then on the end here are my rectangle single compartment containers. And you can tell by the writing on there that I use some of these to organize my pantry as well. Here are some condiment bottles that I purchased for a refrigerator organizing experiment. And some square single compartments. There's that immersion blender container. And these are some other miscellaneous items. I use my ice trays to freeze things in. This is some random lid to a pitcher I apparently no longer own. And I use that bread container to shape my keto 90-second bread. And then it leaves us with these small rounds for condiments and sauces. And as if that wasn't enough, there's more up here. Okay, Here's another container that I fell for. I thought it was a cute little cheese and cracker container with a little knife. We have some bowls here for the dogs because you always end up with that random little bit of dog food that you need to save. And I think that's pretty much going to do it as far as my categories. I do have some things behind me that I will be adding to a cupboard that I have out in the garage. So these items do have a home that they will be going to. And the random lid to my Ninja blender. Yes, I do have more. These are brand new ones that I'm saving in my laundry room to replace some of the old ones with. Okay, next up we're going to be going to the next step, which is number 3, and that's where we're going to ask ourselves those tough questions of what do we really need these for? But first, I think I should take a few minutes to get this cabinet clean. Okay, so step 3 in my process is ask. Why do I need these? This is the point in the process where I actually allow myself to justify the need for these items. Now, what I came up with is that I use these to store leftovers, for transporting food to friends and family, to pack my husband's lunches, and to organize items in my dry pantry. Then this will lead to step 4, which is the actual purging of the ones that I realistically do not need to hang on to. Step 5 is to make it less easy to accumulate. I've done this by adding the lids. And step number 6 is to rehome those less used items. Now let's go over that list again. Step 1 is to empty out the cabinet so that you can see everything that you're dealing with, while doing number 2, which is sorting them into categories. Remember, everyone's categories are going to look differently. Step 3, ask the hard questions. Do I really need this? What do I use this for? And number 4, purge, discard, and donate all of the unwanted items. This seems like the perfect time to remind you that plastic is very porous. So if you have stains, flakes, or even melted parts on your plastic containers, please discard them now. They're filled with bacteria. Step 5, make it less easy to accumulate. In this instance, I did it by adding the lids. And step number 6 to free up more space is just to rehome those less used items. Let's take a look at that before picture again. Before I show you the after picture, I would like to take this time to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. I would love for you to become a part of this homemaking community, filled with recipes, decluttering, decorating, and all things home. And here's the after. I'm loving this. Well, I hope these steps have helped you in battling your plastic clutter, and I'd love to hear your tips in the comments. And the best way to let me know if you enjoy these type of videos is to give me that big thumbs up. That's going to be all for today's video, but always remember to stay motivated, cherish your family, and love your home the best that you can, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!